Alright, I'm going to do the problems from the help board of the video. I'm going to go fairly quickly. We have quite a few problems that were put up today. So let's see, I'm going to start with number 11. 11, and I can't write very neatly on here, so you have to put up with what I write. I'll write it 2 square root of 12 minus 3 square root of 18. These are radicals. They need to be simplified, and then if they end up being alike radicals, we can add them or subtract them. So first we have to simplify them. So we find the biggest perfect square. So we have 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. That should be enough. So I'm going to find the biggest perfect square that divides into 12, and that would be 4. None of these other ones divide into 12 evenly. So we're going to get 4 square root of 3 is what's left, because 4 times 3 gives us 12. Go to the next one, square root of 18. The biggest one that divides into 18 is 9, and that would leave us with a 2. So we're going to get 2, square root of 4 is 2, so it comes out, square root of 3, minus 3 times 3, because the square root of 9 is 3, square root of 2. So we get 4 square root of 3 minus 9 square root of 2. These under the radical are not the same, so we can't add them together. It's like having a 4x minus 9y. You can't add them together. They're not alike, or subtract them. All right, number 15. Doing these as I go. Without a calculator, determine what integer 145 is close. Square root of 145 is closest to. Yes, I sure hope you meant less than 67 when you asked for these. Okay, so you determine what integer is closest to it. Well, if we figure these out, like this would be 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, this would be 6 squared is 36. We haven't hit an integer near 145. So if we get a 10 squared, we would get 100. 11 squared is 121. We still haven't hit an integer that when we square it would give us a number close to 145. But when we hit 12 squared, we're going to get 144. So we know that 145 is going to be somewhere between 12 squared and 13 squared. So this answer, the square root of 145, is going to fit somewhere between 12 and 13. And so the next one wants us to put it into our calculator, because we know the square root of 144 is 12. And we would get 13 squared is 169. It would be 169. So 145 falls in between these two. So the square root of 144 would be 12. The square root of 169 would be 13. So 145 is going to be between 12 and 13. The second part is put that in your calculator. I think I have a calculator at work there. 145. And I'm going to do the square root of that. Oops, I have a funny calculator. Square root of 145. I think it's clear. 145. That's 12.04. We put in the calculator, it's 12.0416. Once it's the 4 decimal places, it was 159, so I rounded up to 6. And you can see that's what we got. It's closer to 144 than 169, so it's closer to 12 than it is to 13. Okay, 19. Okay, you might not have time to get all of these done in this video. F of x equals x to the fourth, whoops, I looked down and missed my spot, minus x to the third, plus 2x minus 5. We're supposed to find f of negative 1. Functions look scary, but they're very easy. All you have to do is where the x is in the function, you put a negative 1. So to find f of minus 1, everywhere we see an x, we just put a minus 1. Minus 1 to the fourth, minus 1 to the third, plus 2 times minus 1, minus 5. So all I did is I replaced all the x's with the minus 1. There we go. And so we're going to get a negative 10 even power is just going to be positive, minus a negative 1 cubed is going to be a minus 3, minus 1, so it's going to be plus 1, minus 2, minus 5, and that's minus 7. So these would cancel out, 2 minus 2, so we get minus 5. So it's just a substitution. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake going that fast on that one. Okay, next one, 23. This is I'm going to move my little screen over here. This one is a complex fraction. Whoops, 23. So we have a over a squared over a plus b. So remember, this is the type where this is the numerator up here. Right here is the numerator, and this is your denominator. So just as if you had a fraction like 3 over 1/4 back in the olden days, you would say 3 divided by 1/4, and then you would say 3 times 4 over 1, and you would get 12. Well, that's all we're, whoops, not 1/12, just 12. That's what we're doing here. We're taking a, and we're dividing it by this. Well, dividing is the same as flipping and multiplying. So I'm going to flip the bottom. This is where we talked about our flip-de-doos. Over a. See that? I just flipped this guy around. Flip. And we're multiplying instead of dividing. So flippy-do, right up there. The a's cross out, and you get a plus b. Next, 25. Oh, these are fun. 2 squared, y to the third, p to the fourth, cubed. All right, we're going to multiply exponents. This is a power to power. So if we have 2 to the third, 2 to the third squared, we have a power to a power, so you would multiply. So it would be 2 to the 6th. This is just multiple powers. So the first one is going to be 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Y, 3 times 3 is 9. P, 4 times 3 is 12. And then we do have to figure out this 2 to the 6th power. Oops, yeah, 2 to the 6th power. So I guess I don't know what the answer to that is, but I guess you would just put it in your calculator. So 2 to the 6th power is 64. It's not that hard. Guess we could have done that without a calculator. 64, y to the 9th, p to the 12th. And the next one, 27. You might make it. 27. Evaluate. Oh boy. Okay, this will take more time to copy. So we get minus x to the 0, minus x squared, minus a times x minus a, minus the absolute value of x squared. If 2x minus 8 equals 4x. And a, run out of room, equals square root of 16. Oh, that's a killer one. 16. Okay. So we need to find x and a before we can even evaluate it. So we know a is the square root of 16, so that tells us a equals 4. So we have our a, and now we have to go get our x. So let's subtract 2x from both sides. So we get minus 8 equals 2x, and we're going to get x equals minus 4. Hopefully I did that okay. 2x subtract 2x, yeah. So we have our two variables. Now we can go over here and plug them in. I'm going to read what I wrote. So we're going to have minus x, so x is minus 4, the 0 power, minus x again is minus 4 squared, minus a, which is 4, times x is minus 4 minus 4, minus 4 squared minus 4 squared. And that would be both of those in parentheses. Absolute value. Okay, I'm out of room on my little board. I'm not quite sure what to do about that here. Let's see if I can slide this down a little bit. Okay, so then we can substitute, we can work these out. Minus 4 squared, so 0 power is just going to be 1. Minus, so this time we have minus 4 squared, which would be positive 16, but we still have this minus sign, so it's going to be minus 16. Hopefully I get this right. I'm going so fast. Then we have minus 4. Minus 4 minus 4 will be minus 8. And then this gooey thing over here, I can't even tell what I wrote. Minus 4 squared would be 16, so it would be minus 16. So we're going to have minus 1. We have to do, remember, order of operations, so we want to get this done before we don't want to subtract 4 from 16 until we do our multiplication. So minus 1, minus 16, minus 32, that'll be plus 32, because we have a minus times a minus, minus 16. So we have 32, this will be minus 32 plus 32, they would all cancel out, and hopefully your answer is minus 1. I guess I could check that real quick. 67, number 27. 67, 27 is minus 1. So sorry that's so messy, I just underestimated my space. Okay, hopefully that helps, and I'll try to get back to 29 later. That'll take me a little time to get that diagram done. Let's see if I can stop this video.